Aloha mai kākou e nā hoa makamaka mai ka la hiki a ka la kau velina nui me ke aloha. Mahalo nui no kēia ākuaka ana o kākou no ka pono o ka la hui, no ka pono o ka ʻaina a me ka pono o ka vai no hoi. E ahe lalo no e au e kalele ana i ke koʻikoʻi o ka vai a me ka ʻaina kekahi. I ka ʻaina no ka ʻaina i ke liʻi, I vai no ka ʻaina i ke kanaka. The land remains the land because of the chiefs and the prosperity comes to the land because of the common people. Chiefs are needed to hold the land and the commoners are needed to work the land. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to our January 27th, 2025, for the record, meeting. Happy New Year. Happy Chinese New Year. I hope all of you got to enjoy some gao or other Chinese delicacies for both our luck and our well-being and our long life. Welcome. Before beginning today's meeting, I'd like to state that our board is dedicated to providing safe, dependable, and portable supply of water now and into the future. At this time, we would like to share a brief recording with reminders on public participation as well as virtual meeting regulations for board members as required by law.
Materials for this meeting under HRS Section 92-7.5 are accessible at boardofwatersupply.com/boardmeetings. The public may attend this meeting in person at the BWS Public Service Building, located at 630 South Beretania Street. The public may also view a live stream of today's meeting on our website at boardofwatersupply.com/live. We have been accepting written or oral testimony for today's meeting. Instructions and an online submittal form are available at boardofwatersupply.com/testimony. The deadline to submit advanced written testimony has passed. Testimony received by noon today have been distributed to the board members. We will continue to accept written testimony today through our online form. Oral testimony in person or remotely will be accepted during today's meeting. To facilitate as much in-person and remote testimony as reasonably possible during the time allotted, pre-registration and submittal of a written version of testimony at boardofwatersupply.com/testimony is strongly encouraged. To testify in person, please register using our online form or come to the Public Service Building at 630 South Beretania Street. We have a representative in the lobby to provide intake and further instructions. To request to testify remotely, please complete the online form at boardofwatersupply.com/testimony. Requesters will receive an email containing links and instructions to join the Zoom session. Testifiers will have 2 minutes to state their position. A timekeeper will alert testifiers when there is 1 minute remaining. Once the 2 minutes are up, please summarize to allow time for questions from the board. Then, make room for the next testifier. Board members attending any board meeting remotely must be visible to the public to be considered present and meet quorum guidelines. Board members participating remotely must also disclose their location and anyone present at their location during roll call. Meeting participants who are calling or video conferencing in, please mute your microphone when you're not speaking. If you have a question, comment, or wish to enter or second a motion on an action item, please unmute your microphone and identify yourself before continuing to speak. If you encounter technical issues during today's meeting, please use the Zoom chat to send a direct message to our support team. Their names are listed in the message to all participants. To open the chat window, please click on the text bubble icon on the Zoom toolbar.
Let's take a moment to take a roll call of the board members. When I call your name, please say aye. And if attending remotely, make the appropriate disclosures. Joining us virtually, board member Brian Andaya.
Hi, I'm in my house in a room by myself.
Hello, Brian. Thank you. Board member Kehalani Puu.
Aloha, everyone. I am also at home, alone at this time. Mahalo.
Thank you. Mahalo nui. In the boardroom with me today are the following: Vice Chair Jonathan Kaneshiro. Here. Thank you. Aloha. And board member Lance Wilhelm.
Yep.
Aloha. Also in the room with us today, Manager Ernie Lau.
Aloha.
Aloha. Deputy Manager Erwin Kawata.
Here.
Aloha. Board Secretary Joy Cruz Achiu.
Here.
Manager Secretary Kim Kwai. Information Specialist Wayne Maria. Aloha, everyone. Joining us by Zoom are Jeff Lau and Jessica Wong, both from City and County Corp Council. We only have one item on the agenda today for board decision. It would be the approval of the minutes of the regular meeting held December 16th, 2024. I'd like to entertain a motion to approve. It's been moved
Second.
and seconded by John and Lance. Any discussions? Hearing none. Roll call vote, please.
Thank you, Chair, Vice Chair Jonathan Kanshiro.
Aye.
Board Member Brian Ataya.
Aye.
Board Member Lance Waltham.
Aye.
Board Member Kealani Puhu.
Aye.
And Chair Nalik Lansing.
Aye.
Chair motion passes with 5-1.
Thank you. Please note for the record. Moving on to items for information. Item for information number 1, recruitment status. Chair recognizes Michelle Thomas. Aloha.
Aloha. Good afternoon, Board Chair and Board members. My name is Michelle Thomas. I'm the Chief Human Resources Officer for the Board of Water Supply. I'm providing you with the update on the recruitment status for the period of October 2024 through December 2024. For the period of October 2024 through December 31st, 2024, we had 11 new hires, 7 promotions, 20 separations, and 2 canceled requests. As part of today's board report, the manager asked that I also provide you with like a recap of what we've been doing for the last 6 months recruitment wise and give you some highlights as to how much activity we've had over the past 6 months. Currently, we have about 37% of our staff that are eligible to retire and 63% of our staff that are ineligible to retire. That has meant that we've had to do quite a bit of recruitment. And on average for the past 6 months, we've had about 86 positions on active recruitment at any given time. Sometimes more, sometimes a little less, but on average about 86 positions. During the first quarter of the current fiscal year, we had a little bit of a recap. We did a lot of various different community events, various different career fairs, including attending the Work Hawaii Career Fair and the Hawaii Career Expos in July of 2024, and also participating in the city's engineering open house and the Chamber of Commerce's Kama'aina Connect event in August of 2024. In the second quarter, we also had additional activity on that front, participating in the UH Engineering Career Fair in September of 2024, and again, the Hawaii Career Expo in October of 2024. We also have been participating in various different activities with DHR, including BWS specific photo shoots for advertising of BWS vacancies. Currently, our projects are working with DHR on various targeted recruitment videos featuring the manager, Ernie Lau, as well as more intensive staff development, working with the city's EEO or Equal Opportunity Employment Office, and using the city's Honolulu U system, as well as bringing in outside vendors to staff or to facilitate various different trainings for our staff so we can continue the intensive staff development that we were doing in the first quarter. We're also continuing to advertise and promote all of our BWS opportunities through social media, local news publications, career fairs, and through our industry and community partners. So as you can tell, the Human Resources Office has been really, really busy trying to promote all of our opportunities at the Board of Water Supply. And we hope that we see a lot more folks on island coming to participate in the various different career fairs that we're at, and also applying to our various opportunities, which are always listed on the BWS's website, as well as through the city's website. That concludes my presentation for today. Are there any questions?
Members, any questions? Okay, maybe I just have a couple, Michelle. With, just in terms of a percentage of open positions, how does that in general terms, match up to the rest of the county departments? Is that about average
No.
in general terms?
No, it's about average. We actually do really well on filling most of our positions that are more generalized in experience, or positions that frequently come up in a lot of different areas. Where we struggle is filling our positions that are highly specialized, and we have quite a few of those at the Board of Water Supply, including engineers as well as skilled trades positions that do take time to fill. But we have been working on various different ways of bringing folks in, and we have a practice of promoting from within. So that's why there's a heavy emphasis on staff development. So that way we can bring folks in that have a little to no experience and train them up and make them, be very good workers for the Board of Water Supply in the long term.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. And then the only other question is, is there any data that's sitting there that helps you really get a better sense of where you're getting really fruitful recruits, even if it's at the lower level of the range? Is it social media? Is it these face-to-face engagements?
Well, we're finding that it's a multi-pronged attack that we have to do, because, as you know, there are 5 different generations in the workplace right now, and each generation has a different type of contact that they prefer. Some folks, especially the younger generations, like social media, like those types of contacts, whereas the older generations do like that face-to-face contact. And so that's why we've been trying to make sure that we vary how we, reach out to folks, so that way we can get through all different channels.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much. Then thank you and the staff for all the hard work.
No problem.
Thanks, Michelle.
Any other questions? Okay, if not, thank you, Michelle. Moving on to item information number 2, status update of groundwater levels at all index stations. Chair recognizes Barry Usagawa. Hello, Barry.
Thanks, Chairman. And members, for December, we had 3 aquifer index stations in low groundwater condition. Wailua and Honolulu are in caution status. Kamaki is an alert. The monthly production for December was 137 million gallons per day, which is higher than normal. The rainfall index for December was 17%. Never seen it that low. With the 5-month moving average at 68%. As of January, the drought monitor shows drought conditions across the entire island, which is unusual, with moderate drought conditions over most of the island, grading to extreme drought conditions on the leeward coast. The National Weather Service, however, had been forecasting above normal precipitation through March, but they are currently forecasting above normal precipitation in January, with no predictions further ahead in time. There was some good rains yesterday and this morning. Not quite enough though, but good to have that at least. The rainfall summary for December notes that December is usually one of the wettest months of the year across the state. Long-range projections generated in early 2024 favored above normal rainfall for the month. The end result, though, painted a very different picture, with below average December totals in most locations. And the drought areas increased in size and intensity instead of easing. So rather than low pressure systems thereby producing episodes of rainfall, many days were stable, with high pressure systems over or just north of the state causing the dry weather. So, but the monitor wells are exhibiting about equal numbers of stable, increasing and decreasing levels. Yes, you can see the 17%. We did have some high rainfall in April, May, but then the 5-month moving average is at 68% on the rainfall, so it's kind of going the wrong way. Then the production is you can see 137 is not normal. It's above the 5-month moving average and the same time as last year. So we'll continue to monitor the situation, but we rely on the rainfall during winter times to store aquifer levels, in advance of the summer season upcoming.
Okay.
Anyway, it's the weather, so. That's my report, then, and if any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Members? I got a couple. So we've been watching Kaimuki very closely, it's at the top of
Yes.
every month, and you called for the turn to come back up a couple months ago, and it's coming up. Can you just talk a little bit about what you have to do to that turn out of critical as an operator? And where does, if we're still using more water, where do we get it from if not there?
Yeah, the pumpage totals for Kaimuki look like it's 3 million. That's what's bringing the heads up. So it wasn't critical and now it's in alert. Yeah, so it has risen, but we like it to go higher.
Sure. Great.
Typically that it can run like 5 million in the summer. It's good that it's down to 3 during the winter.
You're just basically banking that other 2 until you really need it when it goes right in the summer.
Yeah, we pick it up from, obviously we shut down Halava Shaft, so it's putting a lot of additional I guess stress or withdrawals from other sources like Veritania,
Yeah.
and others of the low service system. But it demands holds, we can keep it to 3 for a couple more months. I think it'll be, it'll be better than trying to hit. Our permitted use there is 4.
Okay.
So just to give you a sense of where we are there.
Can you go back to the graph, the 3-year or the average and then 23 and 24? It's all the way down to the end. Question, like, so if we look back at the rest of the year, it's pretty much tracking and then it jumps right at this end over here.
Right.
So that's because of the low rainfall in December.
Mhm.
If you look into your crystal ball of several decades of doing this, how far out until we gotta talk about mandating a shift in our water use as a county, rather than just like crossing our fingers and hoping it goes well?
So the rules say that when 3 of the index stations are in alert or critical, we can declare, or the board can declare a low groundwater situation. So right now there's 1. When there's 3 or more, and I was seeing where, like in 2003, there were like 9 in low groundwater. 1 was in critical, that was Punaluu. We've cut back a lot at Punaluu because of chloride. So they're in that 2 to 3 million gallon range. 2008, it was Windward. It was just because the storage there is small because it's the aquifers are dikes and they don't hold as much volume as the basalt aquifers in Central and Honolulu. But yeah, that's the trigger. And then of course we have our water shortage plan that is on our website. If our pumpage levels rise toward, so we have X amount of pumping units that are online. And when the summer months is where we're going to start feeling that. When the when the pumping hours reaches a threshold like 20 hours a day or 22 hours a day, obviously you kind of go higher than 24. So at 20, it's an alert, and usually every summer we're just in that. We just don't want it to get too critical. So if they're pumping at 22 hours, say for the Metro Low system, we can declare a critical water shortage, and that kicks in all of the conservation. It's a progressive ramp up of voluntary to mandatory to, from aesthetic uses of water to higher levels. So it's all listed in there. Typically, we have water conservation messaging throughout the year, though, and they do ramp up even more. And thanks to Kathleen folks, they'll ramp up in the spring. And we may go a little bit earlier. And then there's tactics like identifying the top 100 water users and reminding them, like we did the Marine Corps base, and they brought their water demand down to under 2. And they're moving forward on
We've,
increasing their secondary water so they can irrigate. them.
we've been sending letters to the top 200 water users too, especially some of the multifamily high-rise type of projects.
Okay.
So usually when we make the call, they respond, but then it's just, we gotta stay at it and see what the numbers show.
But we need to watch this very closely because this is December and I haven't seen this 17% of normal in Honolulu rain gauges. I think in the last this will be almost 13 years as the
Never seen it that low.
yeah.
I've never seen 17 either since 85, so.
Yeah, so
Okay.
if you look at this graph, we're in December and we're already up at 137
Right.
compared to the 5-year monthly average and the average last year, which is the green line. So we're starting already higher as we get into, it's going to be very important in this hope that rainfall comes again
Mhm.
In the spring. That will help keep the demand low. If not, we're going to be watching this very closely.
Yeah, the deviation kind of,
Stands out.
yes, really does stand out, especially when you see everything grouped so closely previous to that. So,
Hopefully January will be a little bit better with the rain we had, but one day it doesn't really, we need like 2-3 days, of this kind of heavy rainfall we had yesterday
Yeah.
or more.
Yeah.
Then we start to see some reaction, yeah.
any other questions? Thank you, Barry. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Barry.
Okay, moving on to item for information number 3, water main repair report for December 2024. Chair recognizes Wayne Tello. Hello, Wayne.
Good afternoon, board chair and members. Wayne Tello, acting program administrator for field operations. I have the water main leak detection reports for the month of December. Okay, we had 29 main breaks, 10 were leaks, and 19 were actual breaks. Leak detection report. We had 45 points of interest. We found 41 leaks. 5 were main leaks, 29 were meter coupling leaks, 4 leaks on customer side, and 3 service leaks. That's my report. Any questions?
Was any questions? Wayne, thank you for your continued service and mahalo nui for all the hard work. Aloha.
Thank you.
Wayne.
Okay, that concludes our regular board meeting. And we need to go into executive session. So I'd like to see if I could get a motion to adjourn for a few minutes, take a break and come back in executive session. Second. Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any nay? Hearing none? 5-minute break, executive session. We'll start back up. Thank you. Okay, that brings us to the end of our
We're done.
regular meeting. Is there a motion to adjourn? Move to adjourn. Thank you, Lance.
Second.
We did have a vote on the proposed settlement, civil number 1 CCV -22-465 Draco Construction, Inc. Yep. And the other two were for information and that we requested some information as well, so we'll come back to them
In the future.
in the future. Okay, there was a motion to adjourn, was made by Lance and seconded by Kay Howe. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we are adjourned. Thank you very much for your time.